Hello, fellow residents of Tamriel. It is the Beeve, and I am back with another stamina DPS video. Surprise, surprise. It's not going to look anything different than the other ones. We're still using Reliquin, we're still using Aegis Collar, we're using the Maelstrom two hand, and we are rapid striping as our spammable. Um, it does show you the consistency and the powerfulness of these sets all mixed together, but it also does show a few other things too that I'll get into in a video. Not to, and don't want to drag this one out too long. Talking about what I'd like to talk about, so let's just get through this build video and then keep an eye out for that next video that I'm going to be putting up about everything that I've seen myself, at least when doing these videos with Stam tunes. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and buff up our tune. Maximum stamina is at 30k with a 1533 recovery. Goes even higher when we hit a pot, like 1800, almost 1900. Maximum health will go to 21k when we have our minor toughness buff. Spell and physical resistances set at 19,480. Weapon and spell damage sit at 5566. Weapon critical sitting at 50.4. And physical penetration, spell penetration both sit at 700. We are using an orc, and we have all of our orc passives filled in for the purpose of this video. I don't know why I said that. We're going to have those in anyway. My friend messaged me up here in the corner, in case you didn't see, asking how I was, so it kind of threw me off. Sorry about that. We do have all 64 points into our stamina. We are using Lava Foot Soup and Saltrice, which is max magicka or max stamina. I'm sorry, max stamina and max stamina recovery, not max stamina recovery. And I tripping over my words all day today. This build could also be pulled off with Artam Takeaway Broth or Dubious Camoran Throne. Dubious obviously being the cheaper option, but you can go with one of those options. You should have no problems with recovery whatsoever, and you'll actually increase your max health even more. So you'll be a little hardier, at least, if you choose to do so. We are using the Thief Mundus Stone for our weapon and spell critical ratings. Inventory, just like we have been doing. Back bar, Maelstrom's Perfected Greatsword infused with a weapon and spell damage glyph. Aegis Collar daggers on the main hand, Nirnhoned with flame. And on the offhand, we are doing charged with poison damage. We are also using the Aegis Collar jewelry, all of which are in Bloodthirsty, all of which are weapon and spell damage. Enchanted, excuse me. And this is a medium armor set out of Unhallowed Grave. Our next set is a medium armor set that comes out of Cloud Rush Trial. We are using Reliquins. This isn't the perfected version. The perfected version would give me another 1,058 maximum stamina. So the tooltip on that fifth bonus piece isn't game changing by any means. But all of my Reliquins pieces are in Divines with max stamina enchantments. I am using the Head and Shoulders of Zaun. Head can be found can be acquired from completing Vet Scale Collar Peak. The shoulders can be acquired from coffers sold in the Undaunted by the Orc Lady, Chief Ooglabar or Oogly Boogly. I can't remember her name. I should look it up at this point, but I just have more fun calling her Chief Oogly Boogly. All right, so I told you where you can get these things. We're not going to go over what they do like we normally would. There are different options. If you want to run different things, the Onzel's Torment's good, but it's situational. The Coral Riptide is really good if you don't mind playing the stamina mini game. It's a really good. It's a really good set. Might and should probably even outperform Reliquins, to be honest with you. And Pillars and Urn is always a good option as well. If you can use Pillars and Urn in place of Aegis Caller if you're in more mobile fights. If you're in fights that everything stands still pretty much, and you kind of turn and burn bosses and whatnot, Aegis Caller is a wonderful option. Both of them are good options, but Aegis Caller just does a ton of damage and provides 2 lines of weapon and spell damage and 1 line of crit. So it's got a nice bonus, and a nice 4 piece to it right there. Our champion points, green and red. Have at it, whatever you like. Blue tree, obviously, you're going to fill in and slot Wrathful Strikes, Deadly Aim, Master at Arms, and Untamed Aggression, just like all the other stamina builds. You could trade out Untamed Aggression for Fighting Finesse or Backstabber if you are in unoptimized groups for 4-man content, or you can go in here and get the Exploiter for doing extra damage when anything's off balance. If you have somebody providing off balance and you like to play there's that burst damage game that you can play. I like to refer to it as when you see that off balance happen, you got a 7 second window to burst as much damage as you possibly can. So any of those are good options. As always, I stick with the Untamed Aggression. It's pretty good. Skills, we are using Stampede. This is the ability that procs our Maelstrom weapon. I'm using Growing Swarm. This is a bleed damage over 20 seconds. Provides minor vulnerability. And it has a little AoE effect to it as well. Enemies near the carrier take 1,500 bleed damage every 2 seconds during the duration as well. You can only have one of these active at a time, though. We are using Winter's Revenge. This is this isn't a huge hitting ability, but it's a Magicka based ability, so it's not going to draw from our stamina pool. Makes things easier to sustain for how often we're going to be rapid striking. It does frost damage over 12 seconds, and it slows enemies, and it has a higher chance to apply the chilled fat status effect as well. I am using Ice Fortress here. This is for my Major Resolve to increase my physical and spell resistance and gain minor protection, reducing your damage for 30 seconds. So it's 30 seconds worth of Major Resolve and minor protection. So you can't really beat that. I have my Bull Netch here. This is, a nice little utility here. He pops out, he heals you, or he doesn't heal you. He restores 4992 stamina over 25 seconds, with just under 200 stamina a second, basically, and provides you with major brutality and major sorcery for your weapon and spell damage. If you're good at keeping this up at all times, you could definitely use the tri-stat pots rather than using weapon power pots. Because with this build, I am keeping Expert Hunter on the back bar for the weapon and spell crit rating. So if I wanted to use tripod potions instead of the weapon damage potions, then I could do so. But honestly, the weapon damage potions at this point are cheaper. So that's what I'm going with, even though I have these slotted. This does remove 1 negative effect every 5 seconds as well. We are using our Wild Guardian. He's pretty good. He deals bleed damage and stuns them with his big swipe. He deals bleed damage anytime he swipes. Uh, he has when he's activated, he can deal a ton of bleed damage, and it's got an execute factor to it as well. And I've seen this hit huge numbers before. Honestly, this execute phase. This bear is a monster. He will be on both bars though, so that is the only ultimate you're going to be able to use. Now on our front bar, we are using Barb Trap. I don't really know if we are benefiting from the minor force at this point with this build, because the wardens have passives built in that give them crit damage and crit healing, and medium armor gives you crit healing and crit damage. So the minor force might not be doing us any good right here, but it's a lot of bleed damage coming from this, plus the hemorrhaging status effect that you get out of this as well is huge. We are using rapid strikes. This is a very heavy hitting ultimate, very heavy hitting ability right here. You've seen it on my other tunes. It's unmatched. We are going with rending slashes. This is bleed damage. This is like I should name this build like like a nature's bloodletter. I don't know, something along those lines, because there's so much bleed damage built into this build. This build should be able to get that hemorrhaging status effect to stack a lot when the new update 40 comes. It's bleed, 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 bleed. Right here I have deep fissure. This is a flex spot. You can put anything here you want, really. I keep deep fissure here just for the minor and major breach that it provides when it pops out. And I'm not actually calling this out during fights on the trial Atronach. You probably could mix it in there, maybe improve your DPS a tad little bit, but I have this for like when I'm parsing on like the 3 mil dummy to give myself breach, and like if I go into content, solo content, this is good right here to keep major and minor breach on things, so I'm penetrating as well as I can in arenas. Like I said as well, Expert Hunter over here as well. This is just for the major savagery, major prophecy, plus, having Barb Trap in it back here gives me 4% bonus weapon and spell damage from the Slayer passive in the Fighters Guild line. The rotation with this is extremely simple. We start the fight off by dropping Trap. We bar swap. We're going to go Stampede, Growing Swarm, Winter's Revenge, and you can apply Bull Netch if you want to, if you're having problems sustaining, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. But there's definitely room to apply the Bull Netch in this rotation. But after Winter's Revenge, we're either applying Bull Netch or we are bar swapping. We're going to do Rending Slashes, and then we're just gonna spam Rapid Strikes like we have been. As soon as we watch the timer bar go off on the Stampede, that's when we'll lay our trap again, bar swap, and repeat. The ultimate on the bear is only 75 ultimate. We get to this quite often, so we're always going to make sure that we are hitting ultimates when they come off of cooldown, or when they're available. So that's really all there is to this build, to be honest. I'm just trying, like we've been over this so many different times with these sets. I don't have to go into too deep of explanation with this stuff, but I am going to go ahead and hit the 3 million dummy here as soon as I pick him up and put him away and bring him back out, so he's back at 3 million. But we're going to hit this just so you can get an idea of what the rotation looks like, and then I'm going to be attaching a 102k parse onto the end of this video so you can see the rotation I used on the big dummy, and how it performed. So let's go ahead and hit this one. We're going to start with our trap, and then Since we're on the 3 million, we're gonna start with the trap, and we're gonna throw down our beetle here, just for the major breach. So I'm gonna use that ability here just to get my major breach and minor breach from that. And I'll be throwing that in every now and again just to keep that breach, minor and major breach up. But it's not something you will have to do in the parse for the big dummy, and you'll see that when you watch the 21 million video. But let's go ahead and get started here. Trap, bug, bar swap, stampede, bugs, ice, netch, slash, and then we are just gonna rapid strike. We're gonna hit our bear wasn't out. We gotta start this over. I messed up. I messed up. I forgot my bear wasn't out. That was a DPS loss real quick right there. Well, for the 14 seconds we were going at it, it was 31k. All right. So trap, beetle, stampede, bug, ice, Betty, slash, bear, and spamming until we watch that bar go away. Trap, bar swap, start over. So 48,264. Major and minor breach were both being applied in that situation. So that's the type of numbers that you can expect to see if you have a tank in your party and you're just in normal content, a 4-man content of some sort. And then that's a boatload of damage right there, 50k a second. That's you can't really beat that. And then, depending on what type of buff sets your support's wearing, if they are wearing any, it's just going to get higher from there. But do believe that's going to be all I have for you. But like I said earlier, pay attention or keep an eye out for that next video. I'm going to kind of go over everything that I've seen and kind of talk about it a little bit, and just kind of give you my thoughts on what I've found going through all these stamina tunes, and even one of the Magicka tunes that I've done here. So, but that is all that I got for you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you if you like the video and it's something that that works out for you, give us a like, give us a comment, give us a subscribe, whatever. Like any and all of it would be greatly appreciated. And until next time, guys, thank you for everything that you do, and happy adventuring.